Fortnite. You know what? I don't understand that.
I do.
Well, I don't understand watching someone else play a game.
Okay, well, a lot of people they actually watch other people play the game when they're doing other things like work.
Yeah.
But I also understand the premise behind Fortnite and PUBG. A lot of people complain about it and don't understand it, but I get it because Fortnite and PUBG are bringing back a style of game that was popular in the very late 90s, which are these big open world, either deathmatch or team-based shooters like Tribes.
See, I'm not telling anybody not to do it because
we
I have posted. We lost who?
Alistair.
Oh. Yeah, well. Yeah,
Probably should have warned you that I was hitting the update button.
See, I am not going to say anything. It's like, if you want to watch it, let's watch it. It's kind of, I saw this, we talked a little about this last week. Somebody saying, well, it's the same thing about sports. You watch sports and you're not playing it. Yeah, I don't watch sports either. So it's
and with streaming, it's not always about the game so much as it's
the interaction.
It's the way they play the game and the way they interact with their audience.
True. And I actually subscribe to a channel, the Flight Simulator guy on YouTube, and it's more because of the hilarity of the crap that he pulls when dealing with people in the game than it is to watch them play the game. But I don't know. Either way, again, more power to you. You want to watch somebody streaming a video game, you go, more power to you. It's all good. I'll be over here watching Star Wars. But that being said, we're here. We're live. We got stuff to talk about. There is stuff to talk about this week.
So which major corporation should we start off complaining about, Facebook or Microsoft?
Well, let's make sure that let's complain about YouTube a little bit too, but let's do the opener real quick and then we'll come back.
The following podcast is intended for mature audiences. The opinions expressed do not reflect this station or any affiliated partners. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Geek EZ.
So short and sweet.
Now, I can complain about YouTube.
Well, first off, let's say Firefly, thank you for joining us in the chat.
How's it going, Firefly? And yes, I do remember when MS Flight Simulator add-on. I remember Flight Simulator back when it was on like Windows 3.1.
So you mean that their operating system that France is using for their airports?
Is that really what's going on in France?
There are a few airports in France that have their flight control system is ran for the airport, not the airplanes, is ran on Windows 3.
Remind me to never, ever fly to France.
They actually had an issue with it a couple years ago.
A large number of older US ATMs are running OS 2.
Woof. Anyway, so my complaint about YouTube, it doesn't actually happen to me. It happened to somebody I watch and follow on YouTube, Wasted Space. He streams mostly on Twitch, but there's one particular stream he does on YouTube per tradition, because it's where his following for that particular game is. And so he was getting his stream ready the other day, and before he had even gone live, the notification popped up next to his stream saying, "We have found content that is not suitable for most advertisers." Nothing had even been broadcasted yet, and he had been demonetized.
YouTube. Lose the freaking algorithms, man.
That sounds more like an individual flagged him.
Yeah. If he hadn't even started broadcasting it, yeah, somebody went after him.
I don't know why. He's a pretty family-friendly, kosher guy. Granted, he also has airsoft videos on his channel, so someone may be a little bit iffy.
It doesn't matter. There's there's a guy who goes by Walcom S7 in the Nerf community, and there is someone that keeps dislike bombing a bunch of his videos, like to the point that it's actually affecting his channel. Because it used to be the dislikes didn't hurt you because any interaction was good, but they've changed it now, and you get a certain percentage of dislikes and you drop off the search results, apparently.
Interesting. It's all kinds of. I mean, technology sucks. I mean, Tank is not here with us today because Microsoft bricked his computer, and I'm gonna say it. They did it. Microsoft did it because he is not the only one, and it is obviously an issue with the software, not with the user. I luckily skated by on this one where all I had was my dual screen setup wasn't there. It only, and it's funny, it only opened up on my tablet and not on my main screen. I had to go back in and reset up a dual screen.
And just like every other major problem Windows 10 has had, it's a compatibility issue with your hardware.
Yes. It's like, well, let's see. It's a compatibility. What do you expect everyone to have the top? I mean, no, I've got a 5-year-old monitor and a 3-year-old tablet. No, it's only a 5-year-old tablet too. But even then, it's like
I had to nuke my computer last week.
Sometimes you have to nuke it from orbit.
I mean, I've always hated the fact that Windows, and I remember my sister who's in IT and other IT people telling me this, that you should every year and a half or so back everything and reinstall Windows because it gets borked. How badly did I robot on that?
Nothing.
Okay.
Well, it's true. Android phones are kind of the same way. They just build up all this extra file stuff that they're not doing anything with, and it slows down your machine. And Windows is the same way.
Yeah, and I'm looking at that right now. I'm like, why is everything taking so slow? I mean, I've gone through and I've checked my registry and I've checked all this, and it's just like every time I turn around, Windows is throwing a new folder in my documents for temp files and all the other crap that they accumulate. But that's neither here nor there. Again, Windows 10 was free. A lot of people are they actually making people pay for it now?
Yes. Now, my complaint about Facebook, surprisingly enough, has little to do with the current ongoing, nothing to do probably with the ongoing privacy issues. I'm just upset at posts don't reach people unless we pay.
Yes. Now, you know what's funny? There are ways around it, but I mean, you have to have, instead of a group or whatever, you have to do a community. And even then, it's still, I don't like the fact that I have my family set up as the first people I am supposed to see their posts. My sisters, my brother, my mother, my father, and that's it. And my grandmother. They should be the top 5 people or top 7 people, or whatever, that pop up on my newsfeed. Yet I never see their posts. I see you guys. I see Star Wars The Last Jedi and all those, but I never see the ones that I have starred as my favorites, and they should be the first ones I see. It even says so right there. These will be the first ones you see. Nope. More than once I've said, my mom's like, you didn't see what I posted? I was like, no, I never see your stuff. Facebook, you suck. Let's complain about all the free stuff.
It's not free. You pay with your data, as is proven by what's going on right now.
Yes. Did you see the meme that's going around with the senator and he's something or other, and the question I guess was asked, why are we wasting time like this? It's your daughter's birthday. How do you know that? It's just like, yeah, let me take a drink. It's pretty funny. But I guess I have not kept up on it. I'm guessing the internet jumped all over the senators using Twitter instead of Facebook when they were referring to this stuff. But
I thought Dick Durbin asked a pretty impressive question. He asked Zuckerberg what hotel he stayed in if he wanted to tell them, and Zuckerberg immediately said no, he wasn't comfortable with that, and Durbin gave him this sly look.
That's good. Well, what, you don't want to check in? Yeah, do not do that, folks. Don't tell people where you are. It's the same thing. If you've got a phone, shut that off on your camera, because you don't know who's looking at your pictures, and that metadata is always there.
Also, you can go into the settings on Facebook and turn off most of the targeted advertising settings.
Yes.
Which I would highly recommend.
Yes.
Although I don't see Facebook ads anyways, thanks to AdBlock.
Yeah, I see them very, very rarely. I mean, every once in a while, one will come through that's really, really, really aggressive. I wonder how they do that. There are some really aggressive ads out there.
Even Yahoo has had some of the hijack ads lately.
Who the hell still goes to Yahoo?
Well, Yahoo had a lot of issues over the past 5 years, and they continuously fail to report them. Like when they were hacked in 2013 and 2014, it didn't reveal anything until 2016.
Well, I'm talking about, like, have you ever been on a website on your phone and suddenly you get the pop-up, your phone is infected with blah, 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 blah. I had that happen to me on the Yahoo homepage on my computer twice.
Comic book resource is very
Yes.
not vet their ads at all.
No, they do not.
But yes, I use Yahoo because it was one of my original email addresses, and there are certain accounts still tied to it.
You know what? I remember when they came out, it was like the greatest thing in the world because Apple phones did not have an ad block for Safari. And when they finally had one and then a few others popped up, it was like the greatest thing in the world. I have it. I think it's called, never mind. I'm not even worried about what it's called. It works awesome on Safari. I never see an ad on Safari on my iPad or my phone. It doesn't work on Facebook. And I wish it did, because if it worked on Facebook, I would never see those stupid pop-up ads from Comic Book Resource. Even though they jump all over you. You've got an ad blocker. Would you please whitelist us? No, actually, I wouldn't, because I don't want to know where I can get a Korean wife.
Well, I had an ad blocker that worked on All Access for a while.
Geeky stuff.
I don't believe it does anymore, but yeah, for most of the first season of Discovery, I had no ads.
Well,
speaking of Discovery, Pike has been cast.
Yes.
And I'm okay with it.
I'm beyond okay with it. I was like, wow, that's really good casting.
I think he looks the part. The thing is, I can't remember what else I've seen him in. I know he was Black Bolt, but I mean, he didn't even speak for that role.
He wasn't he on, what was the motorcycle show? Crap. Everything is right at my brain today.
No, wasn't he the cowboy on that train show with Colin Meaney?
I think you're right.
He was really good on that.
I think you're right.
It took me a minute because he has a beard. He had a beard on that show.
He's a little
Hell
gray.
on Wheels. That was it.
He's a little gray. I hope they kind of fix that, because I mean, even as Black Bolt, he's a lot older than Jeffrey Hunter was.
He's 45. Yeah.
Jeffrey Hunter was only in his early 30s.
Oh my gosh, his full name is Anson Adams Mount the Fourth.
The fourth. That's when it starts getting ridiculous. I mean, there's an ego to naming your child after yourself. I mean, as I sit here, my little brother is named after my father, but it's just one of those. When you get to the fourth, it's time to stop. You're not royalty.
Well, what's weird is that his dad was the second.
What?
His dad. Oh, okay. I'm looking on Wikipedia. His dad pulled a George Foreman.
Oh, okay.
And he has an older brother that's Anson Adams III.
Oh my god. Named his kids the exact same thing.
Apparently.
That's funny. Isn't George Foreman his daughter named George?
No, I think it's like Georgina or something.
Hmm. But yeah, that's true. I mean, it kind of sucks. We have to wait another year, right? We still got 8 months, 9 months before we get to see another season.
Yeah, the gap is pretty ridiculous.
And I remember, I mean, they cast Pike. The Enterprise is there. It is a well-known fact that Spock was on the Enterprise at this time. How are they going to get around that?
Well, in one of the books, hasn't Sonequa Martin Green's character already interacted with Spock?
I don't know. I haven't read any of the new books. Books aren't canon, dude.
Actually, I believe the new ones are.
Oh, great. Here we go. This is going to start all kinds of wars on the internet now.
We'll have to ask Dayton. Because he wrote one of them.
Yep. Didn't Peter Mack write one too?
I'm not sure. I wonder if we could get Dayton on the show.
I bet you we could. I'll ask him. Like, hey, show up on our podcast. But what was I going to say? You know what? I'm not watching that. Are you watching the Twitch feed? Because I'm sure Firefly's all over the place.
Fire said, what specifically did they do? I'm always referencing it. Probably Tank's computer.
Oh,
and he said, and let us not forget those ads, which obviously use images ripped off from other people.
Yes. Oh, you know which one what did I see? Speaking of ripping things off, a friend of Wolfie and I's, I mean, I think, are you friends with Alistair?
Doesn't know from here.
The artist who does all the nebulas and stuff. She's been, actually, her nebulas were on Battlestar Galactica and stuff. She's a CG artist. She does stuff. Wolfie, you're friends with her, right?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, okay. Either way, she's a friend of mine. Her stuff is constantly on Facebook and people's ads and stuff, and she is constantly policing it. And I know Gabe Koner has his Enterprise pop up all over the place. I mean, they've used it on national news to promote the new Star Trek movies. But I did a throwaway because I was organizing my iTunes movies, and I had a ripped copy that I ripped off my DVD of A Funny Thing Happened on the way to Thor's Forum, or a way to Thor's Hammer, from the little short that Marvel did off of one of the discs. And I put it in my iTunes so I could watch it on my phone ages ago. It was when like the DVD first came out. And I made a poster for it because I needed artwork for it because it didn't have artwork that came with it. So I made a poster of using a screen grab from the video, and it was Coulson with the donuts in his hand, the dude laying at his feet, and I made a logo for it. And then, as I've been perusing, as I'm trying to update posters and stuff on my Plex server and make collections and stuff on Plex server, yes, I'm a geek and I do these kind of things, I came across my poster on a Marvel wiki site. Then I came across the logo I made that had been cut from the poster on another wiki site. And then on the moviedatabase.org, I found my poster and the logo. On fan art, I found my logo. And then I did a search. A funny thing happened on the way to Thor's Forum. My poster came up 25 different times, all over the place. I mean, yes, did I put it on DeviantArt for free? Sure. But it'd be nice to know people are using it.
So it's had almost as big an impact as your Enterprise.
Almost. I mean, it's really funny because it's just out there. I was like, wow, and it gets around fast, amazingly fast. It was really funny that someone actually like badly photoshopped the logo I made and pulled it out, and had that up as a ping file for people to download. I was like, I don't care. I mean, I put it up there for free. I mean, literally, it's a 1,000 by 1,500 pixels, 72 DPI. I mean, it's tiny. It's a tiny little file. You couldn't print it. You couldn't do anything with it. It's just for artwork for iTunes or whatever else you want to use it for. But I still found it funny that, yeah, I mean...
And unless you state otherwise, doesn't everything on DeviantArt fall under a Creative Commons where if they use it, they're supposed to attribute it?
Yes.
Actually, it's all copyrighted, isn't it?
It's all copyrighted. It has my name. It has my copyright. But I made it available for download. So when you make it available for download, I'm not signing my rights away to it, but I'm making it available for people to use. Which I did. I mean, again, I have no problem with people using this little throwaway piece of art.
You're making it available for private use, but not, for some website to slap on their database and stuff.
The only other time that I really got that I actually went after somebody was when I found a design that I had done for somebody else that I did not make. I think it was one of my Starship designs that I had done, and I was not up for download or anything, and someone had it, and I went after him. I found out who was running the website. I was like, yeah, you will take this down, and it's not free for all. Just because you find an image on the internet doesn't make it free and fair use, people. The internet is it's still copyrighted stuff. I can't go grab a picture of Luke Skywalker. I mean, technically I do it with the Facebook pages, but these are publicly made available press pieces that I'm using. They are meant to be used for press and that kind of stuff. They're not just like a screen grab. You grab a screen grab from a movie, it's actually copyrighted material. Or someone's artwork, it's copyrighted.
You should maybe look in general.
You
should maybe look in general.
In general for what?
General chat here in Discord. The text chat. The text chat, not the voice channel.
I'm looking at two different things. The wrong button, sorry.
A hashtag general channel.
What the actual? I'm not going to finish that sentence.
I didn't think you drew that to be a Star Wars ship.
No, it is.
It is, but it's not.
At the very least, link to your thing and say it's by you.
I mean, at least they have my signature on it. I'm actually going to... Here, I'm going to share this.
Oh, it says who it was commissioned by and everything.
Been a long time since I've been called con.
Well, in the same vein, there's been a big argument in parts of the Trek community in relation to people wanting to do fan films and approaching CG artists and either wanting work for free or freaking out over quoted rates.
Did I make that available for download on DeviantArt?
It currently is available for download.
Is it really? Well, that's why they have it under fair use. I might have to change that. Crap. So yeah, it's amazing.
But
Why
you
can't
should
I find it now?
Look for Ivory Dagger under your thing.
Well, it goes back to that whole old thing of people wanting artists to do things for the exposure.
I've been overexposed when it comes to that kind of stuff.
I threw a link in the Twitch chat. The Twitch, the broadcast is now a gray square.
Yeah, I know, because I can't. It's not grabbing my screen. It's really odd. Either way. But yeah, it's something I drew is on a wiki again. But it's really funny that it's in Star Wars Exodus Visual Encyclopedia. What?
It's a fan thing, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's for a role-playing community. Which is nice, considering I commissioned you to draw that as a one-off starfighter, or only one exists.
They actually named it. It's a Makar-class light interceptor.
Apparently, it's been up there since November 3rd, 2012.
I believe I found this before and requested they put at least your name on it because it wasn't. They don't have it on the article for it, though. You have to actually click the picture.
No, it's in the about. It's in the tags below it. It's an
No, but I mean,
EPA.
if you go to the article
Oh, what article is it in?
for the ETA 4 light interceptor.
Yep, I will be. Yep. And funny, there is no astromech in that one.
No, well, there is an astromech, and it's built into the system.
Yeah. I really wish I could share this. Well, you got the Makar class light interceptor.
Yes. It's actually not called that. In fact, I can't even remember what I called it at the top of my head.
I know it's the Ivory Dagger.
Oh yeah, the Ivory Dagger is the name of the ship.
Which is funny because it's black.
Oh yeah, it's the Aternus class interceptor.
Mm.
That is what it is named.
Atmospheric speed. It travels at 1,640 kilometers per hour. No, it doesn't.
No, I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
Yeah. I'll be... Is this one of those wikis where I can sign in and make myself an account and edit it? Why, yes, I can.
Probably.
Yes, I can. I won't be nice about it either. Dun, 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 dun. But speaking of other things that aren't nice, have you guys been following the stuff that's going on with Stan Lee?
It was a very hard article to read.
I haven't been able to bring myself to watch the video.
No, I couldn't watch the video either. I mean, for those who aren't in the know, Stan Lee is not doing good. I mean, the man's, what, 95? Between the issues with what seemed to be his publicist, his ex-care worker, or his ex, I mean, like, what was she? She was a... What did she do?
She was a home nurse or something.
Home nurse or something like that. And his daughter. They have been stealing, I mean, like ripping this dude off blind. Left and right. Money is being taken. $1.4 million has been missing from this guy's account. There have been issues of, I don't know if there was physical abuse, but I know there was mental abuse. And
there was report from one guy where his daughter literally slammed his head back into a wood chair.
Yeah. It's horrific. I mean, I've never met him personally. I've been in the same room as Stan Lee, and I've heard other people say that he is a joy to talk to and stuff like that.
I know Kevin Smith has invited him to move into his house.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of artists out there that are and a lot of creatives and stuff that are like freaking out about it and not happy. But I mean, it's just not cool. I was like, what? I mean, and it just, the story just keeps getting more, it spirals downward the more you read about it. And the more they find out. I mean, the fact that his own daughter is doing this kind of crap. It's like, I mean, yeah, your dad's a millionaire. You were not. It's his money, not yours. But freaking me out. What was the other bad news that was out there? Get that out of the way. Oh, well, the other bad news is Star Wars fans are still suck.
They're also very easily baited.
So easily baited. I mean, all you gotta do is dangle it, and that's what was it? What was the one you sent me? Was it Screen Rant or Geek Tyrants?
Geek Tyrant.
Yeah, Geek Tyrants. They dangled that worm right out there, and Facebook exploded that post. All these people ripping into The Last Jedi, and it was all taken out of context. Mark Hamill made a comment that was taken out of context and used as more bait, because Geek Tyrant is big with this one, so is CBR, about baiting people into either disliking the new Star Wars movies or disliking the DC movies. And they're huge with it because they know it gets clicks and they know that it gets people riled up, and the more people that get riled up, the more hits they get, and the more hits they get, the more money they get. So they do it on purpose, but it's not really true. I mean, did Mark Hamill use the words he doesn't really care? Yes, he did, but in the context was he doesn't care because it's not fun anymore because it's not getting the old gang back together. Han Solo's character has been killed off. Carrie Fisher is no longer alive. So for him to come back to Star Wars, he doesn't care whether he does or not at this point because it's not going to be the same. It doesn't mean he hates Star Wars, he's never coming back, which is how people were portraying it. It was from the standpoint of it's time to move on. It's not my Star Wars anymore. It's someone else's. I took it that way. When you actually read what he really said, it was more of a melancholy. He's just sad that things have happened the way they were, and he's like, okay. But
I think, and this is me reading some subtext, I think some of it is he's sad that his character died in the last movie, and then Carrie Fisher died before 9 could be shot.
yes. And yeah, I mean, I don't think people realize how much her death hit him.
So he feels kind of cut off from it now.
Yeah, with Harrison Ford not being part of it. Well, but I sat there in our chat before the show. I was like, the easy way to do it is he comes back as a Force ghost. He brings Rey to Lothal, shows her the temple where they can actually alter time. She goes back, stops Kylo Ren from killing Han Solo, pushed Kylo off the bridge. Boom, there. The Last Jedi no longer happens. Then she hears Solo. They go grab Luke Skywalker off just like literally pick him up and drag him onto the Millennium Falcon and fly to Snoke's ship, kill Snoke, and it's all good and done.
I still say that even Disney doesn't have the truckloads of money it would need to get Harrison Ford to put the vest on again.
Well. Sure, that's why they have the Solo movie coming out, so they can distance themselves. Which we will talk about that. Because I want to know, was that Mala? Did Mala actually appear on screen?
Mala.
Chewie's wife. Did you not see the new trailer?
Oh, I did. I mean, it's possible.
Because that's all kinds of good right there. If that really was Mala Tobuk, and she is going to be on the big screen and no longer just relegated to the holiday special, that's all kinds of awesome.
Well, she's been in the books.
True, but we've never seen her. I don't know. It's pretty sweet.
So apparently Captain America is about to reach issue 700.
It did. Didn't it just get released?
Yeah, I think.
And spoiler alert. Anybody here read Captain America?
Nope.
I'm so far behind on Cap.
Okay.
Anything you spoil isn't going to bother me.
Okay. Well, Captain America dies, and I mean literally dies. Like nuclear bomb, boom, blows up. Captain America dies in issue 700.
He gets better.
Yes. But yes, they actually do kill Captain America in issue 700.
Again.
I mean, I don't know. Well, they brought Wolvie back from a nuclear explosion. So. Oh wait, did he? No, it wasn't. Yeah, he survived a nuke, right? I think he did. But yeah, Cap goes boom. But you got to read issue 700. I mean, yes, did I spoil something? Sure, I sure did. But you have to read it.
Captain America dying is not a spoiler. It's going to happen pretty frequently.
Yes. I don't know. I laugh the amount of ridiculousness that goes through. You know what's cool? comic book fandom, and I have not seen the like the internal fighting and the theming that goes on the same way that, say, the Marvel movies versus the DC movies, the Star Wars versus Star Trek, just Star Wars in general, Star Wars and Disney, because that stupid, what was it, the Disney group, the anti-Disney group that popped up and claims that they're the reason, or the one dude claims he's the reason that Black Panther's Rotten Tomato score went down from 90 to 76. And I had it written out, and I had it ready to link to their group, and I was like, no, I'm not giving him the clicks. And I was going to post it on the Geek EZ Facebook page, and with the comment of, this is it was derogatory, what I had written down. I can't remember exactly what I had, but it was derogatory towards these people. And it was just like, really? And it's racist and sexist. The dude is a complete nut job. He's like, it's Star Wars has become nothing but a woman only blah, blah, blah. I was like, dude, really? Get over yourself. It's like, they're not there. I mean, if you can't deal with a female lead in a film, then you have issues. But yeah, they're claiming that they're going to do the same thing to Infinity War, and they're going to try to get the Rotten Tomato, because that matters. Stupid fans. There's still people that don't like Discovery, and they're still vocal about it. The show's been off the air now for, what, 3 months, 4 months?
And even if someone makes a post that isn't about Discovery, they'll find a way to tell you.
Yeah, same about Star Wars, man. I like to complain about everything. Oh, I like Star Wars too.
Literally every day I see something that you've commented on with the "show me on the dolls" with Star Wars hurt you.
Yes, because that is my go-to at this point. Every time somebody show me what did they do that was so bad? Please, somebody explain it to me. The one that did get caught recently, that shows that Rey should have been stabbed through the back. That's a good one. That actually is a big mistake in the movie. Have you seen that?
No.
Someone noticed that in the fight where after she takes down the dude with the whip, and she tosses his whip into the thing and it catches fire. And the other guy with the two blades and her attacking, he swings his arm around her neck and gets her in the chokehold. The blade, he had two blades in his hand. The blade in his other hand that should have been able to stab Rey through the back magically just disappears from his hand. It was there, he grabs her, and all of a sudden it's not there anymore. And it's like, where did it go? He should have been able to skewer her right there. He had her in a chokehold where she couldn't move. But and now you're going to go back and watch it, and people are going to go back and watch it and say, what the? But it is a huge mistake. And sites are putting it out there that this is yet one more reason to hate The Last Jedi. And of course, that comes out to 7,000 posts from the same 7 people of how badly that movie sucked.
Yeah, I've noticed it's a lot of the same people.
Yes.
Speaking of big mistakes, I know you saw the set photos for Titans.
I really, really hope that they're in disguise. And that either that or there's going to be a lot of CG in play, because they made Starfire look like a streetwalker.
I was thinking the same thing. I wasn't necessarily going to say it. But
no, for real. Now,
especially
I remember,
with her wearing the fur coat because she's
yes.
between shots or something. Yes. Yeah, it's bad.
The black thigh highs, the purple dress with the plunging cleavage, and all that, and the plunging neckline, the huge everything about it. And I was just like, I remember when they cast the actress, and I was like, wow, she really is a pretty actress. This is going to be great. And I was like, I really hope they make her orange. I have no problem. It's like, she's Tamarian. Make her orange. Like you did. I mean, they got Zoe Saldana. She's playing, oh God, what's her name?
Raven.
No, Zoe Saldana in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh,
Gamora.
Thank you. Gamora. I knew it was one of them. I was sitting there. I was like, "Is it Sodom? No, she's not Sodom." But she's playing Gamora, and she's green. They took an actress of color. Is that what they call it now? And they made her green, so she's not a race. She is green. And the same thing they could have done with Starfire, because a lot of people were flipping out that they've got a black woman playing Starfire.
I don't mind them.
Over here, makeup.
I don't mind them not making her orange. I just that particular picture. I mean, and it could be any woman dressed like that with that hair and that and everything. They would look like a streetwalker.
I don't know. It was funny. I was like, oh, and then they showed the Beast Boy one. And I was like, oh, what are they doing? Because, I mean, it's like he has a green toupee on top of his head. And I'm like, please tell me that this is either they're in disguise so they could be out in pub, or that there's a lot of CG that's going to come into play. Because, woof.
Well, what scares me about the hair thing is that's about the color Gar's skin is supposed to be.
Yes. He's supposed to be green.
Okay. It's backtracking a little bit.
Yeah.
Apparently, Kevin Smith has invited Stan Lee to live with him after reports of elder abuse.
Yes.
Yes, I mentioned that.
I missed that. Stan, take him up on the offer.
Yes, please.
They have a history. They've worked together.
Yes. A couple of times. Yeah, it's just a sad situation.
So have you guys seen the trailer for The Meg yet?
Yes. And if it didn't have Jason Statham, it'd be on Sci-Fi.
I don't think it's that bad looking. It definitely looks better than the Wasteland or whatever it is with James Franco.
Let's take Jaws and
Big Jaws.
Jesse.
Yeah, Big Jaws. That's exactly what I thought watching that trailer. I was
It's
like, so
Big Jaws from Family Guy.
They just remade Jaws. Oh, I see those feet. Look at those feet. I'm just going to eat them up live. Jaws. Jaws, Fire Island. Oh, but I shouldn't, because I already had some. Just
no. Peter came up with bigger Jaws or something, where Jaws has to team up with somebody else against the bigger Jaws.
Why do I not remember that episode? But that's exactly what it is. It's just Big Jaws. Now, I will say, the little girl with the shark staring her down, that was actually very well done. I actually, even though I knew it was coming, the trailer made me kind of go, oh. But then the rest of it just kind of devolved into, been there, done that, seen it, Roy Scheider was better. But you know what? I'm sure it'll be better than, what was it? The one they just had about the heist movie in the middle of a hurricane that for some reason the hurricane did things that hurricanes don't do. Like Ben's tornado.
Well, hurricanes can spawn tornadoes.
They can, but this actually was the hurricane itself doing it.
Also,
talking about
also
Sharknado, where they sucked up the sharks or something?
No. There was it came out in theaters, dude.
Also, I would expect, since you used to live in Florida, that you would know hurricanes do indeed pick things up and move them around.
They don't, but no, the way they made it like a vortex. They actually showed people getting sucked out of their cars and stuff into a hurricane. No, you're going to get blown around in a hurricane. It's the winds that do the damage in a hurricane. It doesn't, there's no, I mean, unless there's a tornado that spawns from it, there's no vortex like that sucks you into it. There's no suck zone on a hurricane.
There doesn't need to be a vortex with 100-mile-an-hour winds. It'll blow anything away.
Yeah, but it blows it away. It doesn't pull it to the center. It doesn't pull it. That's what they were showing. They kept showing this storm. I'm like, but storms don't do that. Either way, it looked ridiculous. I think it was in theaters for like 3 days before they pulled it. So I mean,
who was in this?
Nobody. was one of those, really? I mean, I'm going to take a stab and say it was probably Paramount that put it out. Just because they have a habit of doing that and then wonder why they keep losing money. Don't understand. Why does nobody go see our movies? Because they suck. Ugh. Floating around out there, I was like, yeah. Well, there's the Solo in general. And it was like, I'm with Alistair on that one. I was like, man, I got no interest. And then the trailer, it's like, man, stop it.
Honestly, I just hope it's a really, really good heist movie set in the Star Wars universe.
Yes.
In all honesty, if Disney could make a really good heist movie, they could have any set of people there, and I would watch it. If it's in the Star Wars universe, Han Solo is completely unnecessary in this for me, but I'm still going to see it.
No, Rogue One was a heist movie.
Rogue One was a war movie.
With a heist involved.
The heist involved.
So it was Kelly's Heroes?
Kinda. God, it's been a long time since I've seen that. But yeah, I guess it really was a war movie. It was the most war movie that they'd ever done. I mean, we saw little battles and stuff, but we never actually saw like that, the on the ground troops kind of thing. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's that whole time flies as you get older thing. It's true because my wife was talking about take your kid to work day falls on the same day that I was just like, oh well, that's not too far, and that way we got time. And then she's like, no, it's like 2 weeks from now. It's like, what? And then I looked at the calendar. I was like, holy cow, it's already April 11th. It was April 1st. It was just Easter. What happened? So I'm guessing by the time, I guess like for Stan Lee, every day is Tuesday. By 95, it's just the same day. Because everything just blends together. Oh, you guys are so quiet.
I'm tired.
Okay.
I didn't. We'll see. Last night I went to bed around 1 and just didn't sleep. The night before last I went to bed at 6 in the morning.
That's always good.
Yeah. The universe conspires against me every April 10th to remind me that it's April 10th.
I almost, yeah.
What is so scary or upsetting about Siblings Day?
Off the air.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't mind. I don't
Okay.
mind. April 10th is the day my mother died.
Oh, okay.
And yesterday was 10 years.
Yeah.
And I really, really would have liked to have gone in today not realizing it was April 10th, but every year people remind me.
I think and I almost commented when someone asked you, why, what's today? I was like, oh, dude, don't do this.
I messaged him in private and let him know. And he was like, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I chose not to ask you at the time, and I should have chosen not to ask you now, because I was like, if he's that upset, it's not worth asking about.
But we need some, what's good news? We need good news now, because we've been doing bad all the way through.
There's an adorable squirrel that's learned to run using wheels as a prosthesis.
I saw that.
Can he climb trees?
I don't think so, but she can run around like full speed on her hind legs with the wheels now.
She has no forearms, so.
Correct. Okay. This on a totally right off the window, because you said this is where I got from prosthetic legs, wheels, climbing trees. My brain went, oh, robots that climb trees and jump around, to in passing somewhere. I didn't read the article. I just saw like an ad thing or something. Is Sony really going to start marketing the robot as a personal assistant? Or was that just one of those wishful thinking things? Anybody else see that? What is the Asimo? Isn't that theirs?
Asimo? I think so.
I could. Yeah, it was just like something about saving your marriage, and because there's a lot of work to do, and you could use some help. And it had a picture of the Asimo, and I was like, are they going to market it really for real? Is it? Are we going to get droids? Because that would be really cool. But again, I've seen how that movie ends. They start a window, and then Will Smith shows up, and then you hear dun 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 dun. Dun.
Did you see Will Smith talking with the robot?
Which robot?
There's a robot that's I think is created in Japan where she can show human emotion. She actually responds to people.
Is she the one that's been declared a citizen of a country?
I think so. And it was great. One person actually said that the next iRobot is looking great, but there was a part where Will Smith asked her, "Say, can you tell jokes?" And she responds with, "Can you?"
Wow. No, I have not seen that. She's the one with the real rubbery skin, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she don't look right. It's that uncanny valley thing that just goes creepy.
Sophia the robot. Happened about a week ago.
It was Sweden, right, that made her a citizen? One of the Scandinavian countries.
The Westworld people pulled off a pretty big prank.
It's not even a prank, dude. That's huge. They promised, and they did it.
She is a citizen of Saudi Arabia.
Oh. Wow. I guess it wasn't Scandinavia. You can't get much further away from the Scandinavian countries than Saudi Arabia. We will not have any migration jokes right now, please.
She is the first robot to receive citizenship, and she's also received the United Nations Development Programme's first ever innovation champion, and is the first non-human ever to be given a title by the United Nations.
Dun 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 dun. Back to the Westworld thing, because we're talking robots, human-like robots. I don't think I've ever. I think I saw one episode of the show. Anybody else watch it?
No.
Well, I guess if you're a fan of the show, go head over to the. They were doing AMA on Reddit, and something about if they get so many people in the Reddit or in the AMA, like 1,000 or 10,000, whatever, some number, that they would post all the spoilers for season 2. So they got the numbers and they posted all the spoilers for season 2. Which means no one has to watch the show now. I wonder how HBO felt about that. The CEO of HBO sitting there swimming in money going, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just HBO. Even as a kid, there was just something wrong about HBO. I never found it. It's like, oh well, you got to buy it. It's not the fact that it cost money or any of that kind of stuff. It just felt sleazy, even though it wasn't Cinemax.
Cinemax.
Yeah, but I mean, it was. There was something. I was like, oh, well, we're watching something on HBO. I was like. Okay, I mean, it used to just be movies, and then they started doing TV shows. But I don't know. I never got into the whole HBO thing.
I remember watching Arliss back in the day.
I had no idea what that was until someone actually pointed me to a wiki site. because the only thing I knew Robert first seen it. It's like, dude, don't you watch HBO? No, actually, I don't.
You know who should become a Batman villain?
Who?
I mean, yeah, Batman's got some out there villains, and I mean more out there than Joker. I mean, there's what is it? The Quilt Dude,
Crazy
Yes.
Quilt.
Crazy
Quilt, and
Killer
everything.
Moth.
Killer Moth. Alton Brown's fictional supervillain, the Waffler.
I think Alton Brown should just become a villain.
But the Waffler's already a hero in the Mystery Men universe.
That's true.
Waffler is Dane Cook, in fact.
No, if they got Alton Brown, he could throw gluten on people, then heat them up so it actually thickened.
He could blind people with science.
Yes. He's got a handful of wet flour and water, or a cup full of flour and water. He's got a roux and he throws it in your face and then hits you with a hairdryer. I can't get it off. It's funny, he has to explain exactly what happens when you heat up flour and water every single time.
Well, he doesn't do it every single time. He explains some of it every single time, but he doesn't go into details.
That's true. I mean, it's just like, well, it's like whether he's talking about tapioca, a roux, or any of the other starches that do what they do when under heat, and he'll give you the science behind it. It's like, well, we've been watching you for how long now? I think we know how this works. But,
yeah, but one, you know, he's bringing that show back. It's not going to be called Good Eats, but he is bringing it back. And I like one of the things behind it is he's going to do it himself because he doesn't want a television studio telling him what he can and cannot do.
yeah, he had legal issues, did he not? Because
there were things he wanted to show, styles of foods he wanted to cover that he really couldn't. And he skirted that line a lot. Like, there's I think Tender is the Loin Part 2, where he did something where the meat was pretty much essentially raw. And that he literally had his fake lawyers attack him.
See, I don't understand that, because if you watch Zimmerman's show, he goes all over the world where, like, hygiene is obviously not a thing, and they're showing people, I mean, he's eating food prepared on a rock. And I mean, and I was watching it the other day with my wife, and I was like, this is really unsanitary, and yet no one seems to be dying from dysentery and all that kind of stuff. Maybe there's something about it. I don't know. But that kind of stuff, I was like, and then I remembered, yeah, there were foods like he wanted to show, like beef tartare and stuff like that, which is raw meat that he wasn't allowed. I remember that now. It's just odd. They show poke being made. Just raw fish, sushi. Heck, I've seen him do, what was it, puffer fish.
There's the one thing that Zimmerman did called lutefisk.
Yes.
That's was
disgusting.
Fermented fish in lye, I think.
Yes, it's fermented shark, isn't it?
No, it's not shark.
Oh, no, that was the other thing. They do ferment shark, though. And it all stems from eating what you have. Which we are so, as a nation, we're so jaded, I think, and blinded to the fact that a lot of the stuff that people eat, they eat because they have to, not because they want to.
Oh, no. Lutefisk, at least in Minnesota, is considered by many people to be a delicacy.
Well, it's because it got brought over from the Scandinavian countries that they're from. Oh, don't you know?
There's another fermented fish dish from that region called rackfisk as well.
Oh, I have a hard time with pickled herring. And I'm okay with certain foods from those areas. I mean, it's a lot of my genealogy comes from those areas of the world. But, no, Pickled herring? Not happening.
That's okay. I'm only so with the famous fish dish of my people.
Gefilte.
I'm just not huge on it.
Nah, me neither. My mom loves that. I'm not big on gefilte fish.
No, but the thing that's the thing that's worse than lutefisk is surströmming. Like some people say, it's the smelliest food in the world.
Yeah, anytime you got to ferment something to eat it, that's not right. Ugh.
Well, it's herring. They just choose to ferment it.
Is that one fruit, the durian?
Oh, durian, which smells like rotting meat.
It supposedly tastes like chocolate.
Yeah, supposedly.
I just don't think I could bring myself to eat it.
Well, we'll get. I mean, here we're talking food. It's awesome because I guess that could be geeky, right? They're food geeks.
Have you seen an episode of Good Eats?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a geeky. I mean, I'm a foodie. I love to cook. I am a monstrous cook. I really think that to be a true man, you need to be able to cook. And I don't mean just like waffles and pancakes and stuff like that. You need to be able to cook. You know how to hold a knife, how to cut, that kind of stuff. But just going through all the stuff and learning how to cook and watching all these shows and stuff, the things we take for granted on a daily basis, like curried food. There was a reason why food was curried way back in the day, because it covered the taste of the rotting meat that you were eating. That's why curry was a big deal in the warmer climate countries, India, Pakistan, those places, because the meat would rot and they had to cover that flavor. What better to do it with than curry? Because curry covers everything. You could literally coat chocolate in curry and not know you're eating chocolate because it just tastes like, yuck, curry. Ugh.
Oh, I think the food you were talking about, the shark thing, is Carl.
Gross. Oh. It looks
There's
like head cheese, and I hear it smells even worse.
there's some food in Iceland. I think it's another shark thing where they have to ferment it before it's edible because otherwise the shark is poisonous or something.
Mm. That's one of those, you gotta eat what you got. It's like people don't realize that where croutons come from and why we have croutons today. What else do you do with stale bread? You season it because it's the only way you're going to be able to choke it down. And if you're starving and that's all you have during, I don't know, the French Revolution and those kind of famines and stuff that they went through back in the day, you had stale bread. What'd you do with it? Seasoned it and ate it. Hence the crouton. How it got put on salad, I don't know, but I know that that's where it comes from.
Well, the best French toast comes from stale bread too.
Actually, that's true. It does. Yeah, there are certain foods I have yet to try. Like I have yet to have shark, and I don't think I ever will, just because of the way that the sharks are being fished out of the oceans. That no, I probably will never eat shark just
Actually,
because.
odds are you've had shark.
Really, you think so?
Do you like scallops?
Really? I love scallop.
A lot of scallops are not scallops; they're shark meat.
Huh?
Like if it's perfect and gray instead of with like a pinkish tint, it's shark meat.
No, I don't think I've ever had a gray scallop. I've had usually they're pink and or in the peachy range. But then again, I don't buy them because scallops are usually really expensive. I know that there is one fish I will warn everybody, and don't eat tilapia. Ever. It's basically eating a toilet. The way they feed them, the way they farm them, it's just gross. And the fish yeah, no. There is nothing worthwhile about tilapia. If you can get a fish, pay the extra buck and get something else. Get some other kind of white fish. Do not get tilapia. And never order it in a restaurant. A restaurant that serves tilapia should be banned. Cheap, nasty fish. But poke, I will eat some poke. I got a really good recipe for poke. It's really good. raw tuna. It's all good.
See, you know what sucks is I love sushi and I haven't had it in over a year.
I can't eat it right now on the diet I'm on. I'm not allowed to eat rice. So poke is the closest I can get because there's no rice involved.
You could have ceviche.
Could. It's not too bad. I mean, I've learned to get around rice, and I've learned how not to eat pasta. Which, believe me, there are days where I'm like, you know what, I really want some spaghetti. I can make a pretty good no pasta lasagna using eggs instead of pasta. It doesn't taste too far off from the real thing, but cooking, you gotta learn how to cook. But really, yeah, the whole sushi thing, my wife bought me all the cool things, the sushi roller and all that. I was making it myself, and now I can't eat it no more. Dead air. Got nothing else to talk about? Are we done, really? No game stuff? No nothing? I guess not.
Spyro's getting an HD remake.
For some reason, my Battlefront updated, and I don't know why. I didn't realize they were still making updates for that game.
Apparently, my internet decided to take a dump for a second.
Ooh, it dumped for a second.
You're like, no game stuff, and I started having an entire conversation, and I guess you didn't hear me.
Nope, not at all.
There's an idea I'm working on for something that involves Tank and potentially the rest of y'all. And yeah, I just went straight Southern with that, y'all. But it's something to discuss more so off the air.
Okay.
So, but game-wise, I can't really say. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 has apparently made more money than any other entertainment thing ever in the history of ever.
Oh, they're having to remove a bunch of songs from Grand Theft Auto 4.
That's not surprising. God of War comes out soon. As a matter of fact, it comes out on the happiest day of the year, 420.
The update to Steam's default privacy settings is apparently has spelled the doom for Steam Spy.
And Steam DB. Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica is getting a miniatures game.
Like the X-Wing game?
Yes.
You know what?
That would actually be pretty cool.
Firefly just brought up a really good thing. He says, well, if you ever looked at the PUBG and wondered why someone didn't go all in on the violent game show premise like Smash TV or The Running Man. Well, and he's like, I guess someone did that. Go ahead, look up Radical Heights.
Speaking of PUBG, apparently there is ransomware out there that is making people play PUBG to unlock their files.
Nice.
Yeah, which, is like, what do you do if you don't have PUBG?
See, I am not a good enough gamer to play that game. I would love to play that game, but I'm just not. I don't want to get good. That's all there is to it.
I'd love to play that game. I just don't think I should pay as much for the game as they want me to pay for it.
Oh, yeah, Adam, you're surprised that Battlefront got an update? Warcraft 3 is still getting patches, and that game is over 15 years old.
I wonder what it just patched today on both the Xbox and on my PC. So
Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith War blah, 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 got an update a couple of years ago.
Weird.
I can't speak today.
So
Warcraft 3 got a patch yesterday.
Would appear that EA is not losing the Star Wars license.
Actually, a lot of people are guessing, or at least assuming, that the reason EA is suddenly pushing for a big open world seemingly single player and co-op Star Wars game is because they saw writing on the wall and were like, we need to do something the fans actually want as opposed to what fills our pockets.
Well, isn't uh, uh, oh, now I can't think. I mean, I want to say Knights, but it's not Knights of the Old Republic, just the Old Republic. Isn't that open world?
Not really.
It's an MMO. I mean, they don't really consider those open world usually.
Nah. And Star Trek Online is pretty. I mean, you can go anywhere you want. It's pretty open. It's still an MMO.
But it's not really an open world because you can't just go anywhere and do anything.
That's true.
Like open world will be like Skyrim, where you can say screw it to the main quest and go do whatever the hell you want.
Which would be very cool in a Star Wars setting. Actually, it'd be very cool in any sci-fi setting.
Yeah. Probably, I mean, Galaxies was open world for an MMO because you could ignore the main quest and go do whatever you want and level up doing all sorts of stuff. The thing is, Firefly, giving fans what they want will fill their pockets, but not as much as monetizing that extra special Darth Vader costume. Because as we know, fans want a sense of accomplishment.
Oh. Well, you know what? They're giving fans what they want will fill their pockets. So will giving the fans what they don't want. Just look at the money that The Last Jedi has made.
Yes, for a universally hated movie, it's apparently doing really, really well.
Yes. It actually outdid Black Panther, even though Black Panther's coming up on its heels. And that comes out. Black Panther comes out, what'd they say? May 10th, I think, for the digital, and then 2 weeks later for the Blu-ray. Or the 4K, as it would be. Because that's where I've jumped into the 4K realm. And let me tell you, even though, again, it is a very much maligned movie, and I have watched it now upteen times because it's still the Super Friends on the big screen for me. The Justice League in 4K is pretty sweet. That's what I wanted to talk about. We always jump on the whole male versus female issues on this show for some reason. I think it's because we don't have any female cast members. But
I'm attempting to get one.
Okay, cool. Watching the movie as many times as I have, and I remember people complaining that instantly the male gaze was very apparent in the Justice League movie. And you could tell the difference between Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman and Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon's Wonder Woman. Because within the first 15 minutes or 10 minutes of the movie, you get an upskirt shot of Wonder Woman. I was like, actually, how else would you have liked to frame that shot? She was holding a dude 30 feet in the air by a rope, sitting on a ledge. How would you frame that shot? You're going to frame it from where you can see everything, which is not. It just happens to be that from that angle and what she is wearing, yes. Could you see up her skirt? Kind of. But no one seemed to complain of all the bare-chested guys running around, and there was no give me the one reason for Aquaman to remove his shirt before he dove underwater. Or what happened to Superman's clothes that he was wearing when they did what they did? He was wearing a suit, and next thing I know, he's wearing pajama pants. And no shirt. Did that just escape everybody's mind? Or maybe that we're just looking into things too deep.
Too deep.
I guess. Because that's one thing that still bugs me. He was wearing a suit. He had his traditional Clark Kent blue suit, red tie, white shirt. That's what he was buried in. They put him underwater. You see Aquaman push him down into the whatever, the slimy stuff in the ship. The box hits, And next thing I know, it blows his shirt off and changes his pants.
Did it also knock his socks off?
Yes, it did actually, because he was barefoot. And for some reason, his lip looked funny. And actually, it doesn't look that bad. It really only looks bad in that first scene with the cell phone video. The rest of it actually holds up pretty well, even in 4K, aside from that first scene and then the Flash running scene. Those are the only two scenes where it's really noticeable that they removed his mustache. I think Ben Affleck has more issues because they de-aged Ben Affleck. I don't think people realize it, but they did. They digitally removed wrinkles from Ben Affleck's face to the point where in certain scenes he looks stretched, almost bloated, because there's no definition to his face. But that's what happens when you cast somebody who's 45 or 46 years old, 46 or 47, to play Batman. He's wrinkly. He's old, which is what they wanted, but Christian Slater said he's be up to play the bad guy in Suicide Squad 2. Who could he play?
Is he still even a thing?
I guess. He had a TV show for a while. They'll get him and Corey Feldman to play a duo. But yeah, I mean, I was just like, Christian Slater, huh? I guess if you really wanted to come back, that's kind of a way to do it, get into a comic book movie. Oh, and the Russo brothers actually said how cool it would be if the Fox deal does go through, because they would really love to take a stab at a Secret Wars movie where you got everybody involved, which would be kind of cool. I want a Fantastic Four movie that doesn't suck.
Wasn't Christian Slater the voice of Deadshot recently?
Yes, he played Deadshot in was it the Suicide Squad movie, Escape from Arkham, the Batman Escape from Arkham, or Attack on
It was
Arkham?
like Hell to Pay or something.
Oh, maybe it was that one.
Speaking of animated stuff in DC, what's that Harley Quinn series happening?
They're doing a Harley Quinn series?
Knew they were. I thought they were. Word. God, I can't talk.
Oh, I saw Gotham by Gaslight. Kind of a throwaway DC movie. It was kind of eh. And then they're redoing the Death of Superman animation. They already did it once. It was called Superman Doomsday.
Well, it was announced back in November. She's getting an animated series, and it's going to be on DC's streaming service.
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
She's become a very popular character.
Yeah, I recall talking about it with a friend of mine. She's very, 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 very fond of Harley Quinn. And I was talking with her because I have concerns about the fact that it's going to be on a streaming service and not on TV. If the character is Harley Quinn, we know what's going to happen.
Boobies.
We're gonna get full frontal or her bare ass in the first episode.
Well, it depends on who they're aiming it at. I mean, you got to remember, Harley Quinn is a character that's actually on the DC superhero girls right now for little girls. Is she crazy? Nowhere near as much as she is in the more grown-up cartoon stuff, but she's still Harley Quinn. I mean, it's still Harley. I mean, my daughter knows who Harley Quinn is, and when she saw the DVD cover for the Suicide Squad, she's like, oh, "Can I watch this? It's got Harley Quinn, Daddy." I was like, "No, you cannot watch this. You're only 6 years old. You are not watching the Suicide Squad movie now." but she wants the figure. She was like, I want a Harley Quinn figure now. And then there's that inside of me that goes, do I really want to get my daughter a Harley Quinn figure? Harley Quinn is nuts. She is a homicidal maniac. Do I really want this as a doll or someone I want my daughter emulating?
She at least gets good redemption arc.
She does. I mean, she's got a good arc going through the what is it? The Injustice comic book series right now, where she's actually babysitting Green Arrow's son.
She actually was really, really good in the Injustice 2 game. Like, I don't know if you've watched the cutscenes or anything, or even played the game. But she becomes Bruce Wayne's direct assistant.
Yes.
She literally works in the Batcave.
Yeah, it's in the same thing in the comic books where they took that and they ran with it, and she really does have she has a big role in the Bat family where she just walked away from her life of crime and the Joker. She's been rehabilitated. It's all good. And they've actually been steering the character more and more like that throughout all of it, where she's an anti-hero.
She's been away from the Joker for a while. Yeah,
she has. And the White Knights book they got out there's so many Batman comics out there right now. You find out that there were actually two Harley Quinns. There was another one was some other lady that just Joker basically manipulated into thinking she was Harley Quinn. Because Harley walked away from him. But I don't know. It's one of those. They took the character and they softened it. It was kind of like the RoboCop cartoons or the Rambo cartoons. It's like they took a rated R property, and I'm sorry, but Harley Quinn is fairly rated R at times, or should be. And then they softened it and made it for little kids, and it was like one of those. Huh, and I never really thought about it back when I was a kid, and we had the RoboCop cartoon and the Rambo cartoons and stuff, and I was like, okay, kind of funny, but, I mean, did I watch them? I never watched the RoboCop one. I watched the Rambo cartoon. I thought it was really funny because they did the 18 thing where if they did use a gun, they never even shot it at the people. They shot it at things around them. At least G.I. Joe, they shot at each other. But there was always a parachute.
Always a parachute.
Always a parachute.
Knowing is half the battle. The other half is red and blue lasers.
I think that's how they got around it, where they were allowed to shoot at each other because it was lasers. It was fantasy.
Well, they also specifically were not allowed to kill anyone.
Well, they tried killing Duke, and that didn't work. That was a little bit of trivia. I really didn't know that the G.I. Joe movie was actually finished first before the Transformers movie. And they had actually considered releasing it in theaters. But because Transformers seemed to have a bigger following, they figured Transformers would make more money, so they released the Transformers movies into theaters, and then they did the G.I. Joe movie a year later on television. And because of the backlash they got from all the parents groups and just parents in general of killing Optimus Prime on screen and traumatizing many, many young kids because they killed so many characters on screen, Duke was supposed to die when he got the speared in the chest by Serpentor, but they altered it so he didn't die. Kind of like Sven on Voltron. He was supposed to actually die, but he didn't die. He just disappeared for most of the show.
Talking the original Voltron.
Yes, the original Voltron. But it's very apparent by the animation that Sven dies. Same with Duke. I mean, the animation is there where he dies. Everybody's crying and just blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay. Well. But yeah, Optimus Prime's death was one of those big no things. Can't do it. You can kill Bambi's mom, but they did that off screen.
They also cursed in that movie.
Yes, they did. That was another big one that flipped people out.
That movie is so awesome.
It is. Oh, did I post that on the Transformer stop motion thing on the Facebook?
I've seen it, but I don't think you posted it.
The opening, where the guy did the opening in 3D in stop motion. Because I went and looked at that dude's channel, and the other guy that was it Optimus Time Lord, where he does little snippets from the cartoons with using the masterpiece transformers, and they're really well done. They're really really good. I'll have to find it and link it on the Facebook page.
Where can you tell we're dead?
Yeah, seeing as why is the video unavailable? Our YouTube is dead.
Twitch appears to still be going.
Yeah, YouTube didn't like what we said. Says our stream health was good, but no, it was really weird. I said I just had to refresh it. We've been on the air now for an hour, 25 minutes. And roughly 10 minutes ago, our viewership on YouTube dropped to nothing, according to the analytics. So we went dead for a while on YouTube. I wonder what we did to piss them off. We said something that the algorithms didn't like. Either that or maybe the flash and the G on the Geek EZ sign set off their things. It's taking its top off. We broke the no nudity clause by having the G disappear. Would when the lights goes off, would the area where the G is, would that be the G spot?
I was trying not to go there.
Oh, but you have to.
I'm too tired.
I wonder what you can and can't say. Let's just say like a bunch of random words and see if we get nailed on YouTube. And nothing.
Let's go through phonetics.
Let's not go. Don't go dirty. Let's just. I mean.
So like what, the French toast?
Yeah.
Farfiknugan.
Shut the front door.
I wonder if I can get away with saying a movie title. Meet the Fockers.
I got nipples. Can you milk me?
Oh.
But yeah, I think we're pretty much done.
You mentioned nipples. Now we're gonna get demonetized forever.
We were monetized?
Not that I know of.
Crushing my dreams.
Firefly, what is Harley's holiday? I'm going to have to look it up.
Isn't that like the one that ends with Batman buying her a dress?
I don't know. Was that one of the episodes?
Yeah. It's the episode where the Batman buys her a dress and says, I had a bad day once too, and she kisses him.
Oh no, Firefly, we will never forget that the Rattler is just an A10 that gives up survivability for VTOL capability. And it didn't like the entire wing on the Rattler move, it wasn't just the engine.
What about the hiss tank, which was like one of the worst design things I've ever seen?
I can't see out the front. It doesn't matter, just keep going. Who built this thing? Why does it look straight into the sky?
I liked the hiss tank. It was an homage enough to the original design, but functional looking. I'll put the picture of it in the cantina.
Yeah. G.I. Joe is one of those properties that if they're going to reboot it, they need to reboot it right. like they did with Transformers. They rebooted Transformers right. Prime was an awesome show. It's not so awesome.
Supposedly, we're getting a Transformers show meant for like toddlers and stuff.
We have it. It's been out for years. It actually has outlasted the other one. It outlasted Prime. What was it? Rescue Bots. Transform Your Rescue Bots. I've been trying to get my son into them, but he just wants nothing of it. He's more Star Wars and Legos. Yes, there are times where the geek side of me just beams on the inside where I'll catch my son. He has Plex on his tablet. He has access to the Plex server and stuff, and he'll be watching Star Wars or The Last Jedi or something on it. I was like, oh, dude, you're making me feel good. Oh, you know what? I just picked up because it was really cheap at Best Buy. The Back to the Future trilogy, the 30th anniversary. Because I don't have them. I didn't have them on Blu-ray. They had them on Blu-ray. So popped in the second one, and I'm watching it. And not the fact that all of the science, the pseudoscience and stuff that they thought of back in 89 when the movie, or 90 or whatever it was when the movie was made. But the makeup on Marty McFly and everybody to make them older is just horrific. You can see the seams.
What I was talking about is there's a new one coming out called Transformers Rescue Bot Academy.
Oh, even, wow, okay. So it's an offshoot of Rescue Bots.
Apparently.
Is that going to be on Hasbro's streaming station thing like the other ones were? Because you can get it on the Roku. They have their own streaming channel, but you have to pay like crazy stupid money for what you get.
They don't know where it's going to air yet, apparently.
There was some Teen Titan or Young Justice news. I didn't catch all of it, but there were some updates on this next season, which is a good thing to look forward to. I know I'm looking forward to it. My son's looking forward to it. He finally got to watch all the rest of them. He's like, why did they end it? I was like, I don't know. But yeah, we should probably just go.
You should let it go.
Start singing. Short show. Hour and a half comes out.
I'm going to attempt to see it either day of or day after, depending on my schedule.
I'm going to try, but my financial situation at the moment is very bad.
Very bad.
I was just curious. Because I'd like to, if we all do see it within a certain time frame, whether it's on a Wednesday or not, or whatever, we come in and beforehand, before the regular show, and just kind of talk about it. Even if we just record something and then put it up later, like a review or something of it. Doesn't have to be live. Something I can edit down and then throw up. Or upload. Throw up sounds really bad. But, yeah. We'll call it. I'm going to call last call. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything either.
See, we need Tank. Tank is the glue, man.
Tank is the armored vehicle with which we ride in.
Yes. I got nothing. I'm basically picked. I'm done. All right, well, that'll be it. We'll be back next week, everybody. Hopefully Tank will be with us. Maybe Roland. And somebody grab Tade and bring him back. Tell him to stop doing
Tade was actually sick the other day. He was actually sick not last night, night before last, and these were the reasons I stayed up that late, is we binge watched an entire anime series together in one night.
Oh, I do have a last call.
Uh-oh.
The comedian Tig Notaro has been cast on Discovery.
As who?
She's going to be chief engineer aboard the Federation starship Hiawatha.
Does the Hiawatha shoot a photon in the air?
I have no idea.
It came to Kronos, I know not where. USS Hiawatha. Oh, I know the theory has been thrown around. How much you want to bet that the reason the Enterprise is there is because Spock is missing?
That's such a cop-out, though, if that's what they do.
It'd be like, have you seen Spock? Nope, actually we haven't. That's why he's not here. Because they won't cast anybody because Leonard Nimoy and Zachary Quinto did such a good job, they could not do anything better than get Zachary Quinto to play Spock.
Yeah, I just get Zachary Quinto to play Spock. I mean, say what you will about the J.J. Abrams films, he does a great Spock.
Mm-hmm.
If you need Bones McCoy to show up, get Carl Urban. I'm pretty sure he will manifest himself across the planet if you ask him to.
Yep.
He will astral project.
I mean, it's not that it's... I mean, it might be a different timeline, but the characters are still the same, and they would look the same.
Yeah. They're going to look the same. If a young Tiberius Kirk needs to appear, get Chris Pine.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Chris Pine's getting a little old. Chris Pine's got as much gray in his hair as I do.
Get Chris Hemsworth and CGI him to be Chris Pine.
There you go.
Get any of the Hemsworth brothers because they all happen to look like Chris Pine. It's really weird.
You know what's really funny? Hemsworth is so much bigger now than when he played George Kirk. It would be very interesting to see him squeeze into a uniform.
Did you see the little behind-the-scenes thing for Infinity War?
No.
Hemsworth actually hugs Chris Pratt. Pratt goes, "He's so huge."
And Pratt's not small. Pratt actually bulked up pretty good. Makes me wish I had a personal trainer.
Makes me wish I had an exercise bike.
Well,
it makes me wish I was a rich Hollywood actor that could afford to do all the crazy stuff they do to get ripped.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, when you're getting paid to get ripped. Because when they go start working out for the film, that's under contract. They get paid to do that. Not that they don't work out outside of work, but if you ever watch any of the videos The Rock has ever posted of his workouts and stuff, the man's insane. Literally insane when it comes to this stuff. It's like he posted a video, just a photo of the floor after he wrung the towel out that he had just mopped his face and body with after a workout. And there was like a gallon of sweat on the ground. It's kind of gross. I think the only time I've ever sweated a gallon out is when I ate something way too spicy. It's like a ghost pepper or something stupid like that.
Speaking of peppers, I was actually talking about them the other day. One, a friend of mine is planning on growing Carolina Reapers.
Okay.
AKA the current record holder. And I say current record holder because the guy who created the Carolina Reaper created a new pepper he calls Pepper X, which is twice as spicy as the Carolina Reaper.
Is it Doc that's going to grow Reapers?
Yes.
I guess his Doc's intent is to breed a whole new breed of pepper.
Is he going to feed them to the chickens so the chickens are spicy right off the bat?
Actually, he did used to have peppers growing out in his yard, and the chickens ate them.
Were they spicy when you ate them?
We don't eat the chickens.
Why don't you eat the chickens?
Because they lay eggs.
Yeah, but when they stop laying eggs...
They're not that old.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay.
The oldest chicken in there is the rooster, and the rooster is in there because Doc saved him from being dinner. The rooster is also named Jimi Hendrix.
Hey, he has an actual rooster. We could have coq au vin.
You leave Jimmy alone. Jimmy is a gorgeous rooster.
It's the name of the show. You leave Jimmy alone. We still have an episode floating. Well, it's not on Hollow Suite anymore. I do have most of the old episodes that I can, once we finally get the website up and running, which I paid for. It's all good. We're good for another year. But there's the chicken sitting episode where you were chicken sitting. It's like one of our first 3 months?
Think that coincides, yeah.
Wow. So we've been on the air a long time and no one listens to us. Oh, well. All right, let's call it. We're done. Time of death, 1:30, let's see, 10:58. Oh, it's not too bad. We were just a little late. So, we'll be back next week. Don't know what we're going to talk about. Things and stuff. I'm going to go attack a wiki page and tell them to pull my picture and or credit me within the actual page and not just on a blurb somewhere at the end. No, that's about... Oh, The Incredibles. We'll talk about that next week. And I'm done. Say goodnight, boys.
Good night.
Good night.